Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan with Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network. We're going to hop in here and dive into some updated SPC graphics as well as some forecast models for tomorrow's severe weather potential. But first, I do want to mention that there is a severe threat for the overnight period tonight. Okay, it's going to be after midnight towards that sunrise on Tuesday timeframe. We do see a marginal, which is a level 1 out of 5 risk, stretching into southern and eastern Michigan, Northwest Ohio, and most of Indiana getting in on that marginal risk. That is going to be for hail only. Again, tonight's risk is for hail only. The risk that we're more concerned about comes on Tuesday evening, where the SPC has a slight risk currently in place, so a level 2 out of 5. That stretches all the way up into Michigan now, pretty much the entire states of Illinois and Indiana, minus the western part of Illinois and southern part of Indiana. And that now stretches over into western Ohio as well. So, individual threats for this system. Number one, tornadoes. If you are in that green or red zones, you are in a tornado threat. The red zone currently is the highest across northern Indiana, southwest Michigan, and northeast Illinois, as well as extreme northwest Ohio there as well. There is a chance this may get upgraded. Okay. Currently, it's level 2 out of 5. There's no mention of an upgrade, but forecast models over the past 12, 24 hours have really increased moisture and instability. I would not be shocked to see this risk get higher. Okay. So, risk number one, tornadoes. They're on the table here. Risk number two, wind. Right now, it's a 15% wind area in yellow there. Around that 15% in red is a 5%. Okay. So, pretty good chunk there of the Great Lakes region, most of Ohio, all of Indiana, Illinois, southern and central Michigan, and extreme southern Wisconsin, they're getting in on the action. Other threat, again, hail. So all hazards are possible. But with hail, they do have a black outlined area here stretching into South Michigan, northern Indiana, northeast Illinois, and northwest Ohio for significant hail over 2 inches in diameter. So your hail is going to be a big threat. We're not talking quarters, we're talking golf balls at this point, bigger than golf ball size. So hail is going to be a huge concern. Now, as far as timing goes, let's dive into some models. So first and foremost, your HRRR model is now loaded all the way out into Tuesday evening. We can look at temperatures now. The temperatures do look a little bit warmer than expected. We're going to see widespread 70s today in Illinois and Indiana. And then as we get closer to the Tuesday timeframe here, we're going to see a return of the 70-degree temperatures. If I get this model low, there it goes. The return of 70 degrees may be making a run towards 80 in far southwestern Illinois there. But again, widespread 70s now showing up into Wisconsin, into Michigan, into Ohio as well. So temperatures have increased over the past 24 hours. So we're going to be making a run towards that 70-degree mark for a large portion. Now, what that's going to do as well is the moisture with this system is also forecasted to be bigger than expected. So a return into the high 50s, low 60s for dew points, the couplation of that, is that even a word, a couplation? The combination of those two things coming together is what is concerning us here, because now we look at our instability model in comparison to a few days ago. We have a significant amount of instability here present along the Great Lakes region here, all the way into Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and also eastern Illinois here. What that's going to do is it's going to spark off showers and storms that will likely become severe. Again, there is still some uncertainty with moisture content. We're going to have to watch that closely, but there is not one model that shows moisture lacking anymore. All models are currently in agreement. So with that being said, we have the ingredients in place. How about the radar? What's the radar potentially going to look like tomorrow? Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the composite reflectivity. This is going to be Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to run this through the time frame slowly, okay? 1 hour forward, we're talking 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. We start seeing development here, explosive development right along the Indiana-Illinois border back through Illinois and also Southwest Michigan, getting some initiation there, as well as Eastern Ohio getting on the action there as well. So what that's going to do with the time as time goes on, again, this is right around the 8 o'clock time frame in the evening on Tuesday. As we go forward into the sunset and overnight period, this grows upscale into a QLCS squall line as it pushes across Indiana into Ohio and also parts of southern Michigan. The main area of concern would be back here when these cells first start. Right around that 6 p.m., 7 p.m. time frame, depending on your local time, right around that time frame, give or take an hour, when those cells first fire up, they have the best potential for hail, tornadoes, and wind, especially with large hail. If cells can stay individual cells and not grow upscale into a line, they have a very large hail threat as well as a tornado threat. Another area of concern with this, though, is the warm front advancing north into Michigan right around the sunset time frame. There's going to be a warm front that's going to extend right around the border there of Indiana into Ohio, there, right on the Michigan border, and that's going to lift north. That is going to be an area of focus for tornadic development as well. Okay, that's going to push into the I-94 corridor in Michigan. We're going to have to watch that very closely right around, again, the sunset time frame, just after 7, 8 o'clock. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on that, see how it plays out, but it overlaps very well. For example, I pause the radar here and look at the ingredients. Here's our shear, plenty of shear available. Here's our spin, plenty of spin available. Here's our instability, plenty of it available. So the combination of all this is going to spark off concern for all hazards, particularly as these storms first fire up right around the sunset time frame. But as time goes on, they'll congeal into a line. So Indiana and Northwest Ohio, Western Ohio, and also Southeast Michigan, I'd expect more of a wind and hail threat than a tornado threat. But still, there is going to be a tornado threat, probably highest across parts of northern Indiana and also Northeast Illinois and also Southwest Michigan. As we can see here on our SPC outlook, that is the area that the models are also hinting at. So some good agreement with that as well. But again, as that line moves off to the east into Ohio, it will pose mainly a wind and hail threat as that line grows upscale. There's still a potential for spin-up tornadoes, but that risk continues to be lower as the evening and overnight period comes on. So with that being said, that is your outlook as far as the time frame goes for Tuesday. But again, do not forget there is a severe threat for only hail overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. Okay, only for hail, and then Tuesday evening comes on. That's your threat for all hazards. You're welcome, Carol. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I know this is going to be an interesting early season severe weather risk. There is some caveats here. There is some uncertainty, should I say, that do make this a little bit tricky to forecast. There's some bust, so to speak, potential with this. So keep an eye on the moisture, especially. But with these models, picking up this amount of instability, it definitely grabs our eye because we're not looking at just instability. We're looking at good wind shear and just overall good parameters across the board, across the most of the region here. The only state that really escapes it is the UP of Michigan and most of Wisconsin. They really try to escape this threat. If you're in Illinois, Indiana, southern Michigan, central Michigan, and most of Ohio, you guys are going to be in that threat. Yes, John, me too. I'll be out there as well. So any questions, guys, before I hop off here, go ahead and let them be known now. Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys. If you guys need to rewatch this for a synopsis, please do. I covered pretty much everything in detail there. But again, severe threat right around that sunset time frame, Tuesday evening. But then again, tonight into the overnight hours, we do have a hail threat, primarily in Ohio, Indiana, and parts of Southeast Michigan there. But with that being said, guys, that is all I have for you. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to hop off here. We'll have updates later on today if needed. And then also tomorrow, we do plan to go live, although we're not going to sure how it's going to work because we're going to have multiple people chasing. We will try to go live tomorrow. The plan is to go live right around that Tuesday, right around 4 or 5 p.m. So we'll be here. We'll be watching it closely. And if any updates need updating, we will be here. So thanks, guys, for watching. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out and stay safe.